Connect with like-minded AHK users in our private chat, helping each other out and sparking ideas that make scripting way more fun. Unlock weekly live sessions totaling 3 hours. Expert guidance, troubleshooting, and interactive learning to make AHK mastery a breeze. Irfan and I had asked to have something to show you that he had worked on and get your feedback on his code.
Okay,
And
that sounds good.
he had
Let's
found
do that.
something.
Go ahead.
So in Blur tool, so let me share my screen. So this is our quick blur tool, and I saw that I created it, and then you took over and did some major changes.
Did I?
And yes, because you can see
Yeah,
that.
no, it shows like that, but I'm not sure.
Oh,
Minimize.
but I want to know. So you see, you are doing NC hit, and you are doing window position changing. So I was doing with that timer, and you come up, then yeah, we should handle the window
The message,
messages.
yeah.
And then so let me run the tool and show you.
Which code is this? Sorry.
This is quick blur.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay. Yes.
for example, I have something to hide here, so I create a blur window.
Mm-hmm.
So when I move this, so you will
Yes.
see that it move with my other window.
Yes.
So it tries to hide whatever is there. And when
Yeah.
I maximize it, and it remembers it.
Yes.
And it is also following the DPI and the other stuff. But I
Yes.
was using timer, but your approach is to use NC hit and the on window position change. I
That is
know
correct.
about the one with window position change, but can you explain the NC hit test? Why what what is this is doing here? Because
Yeah.
according
Let's
to
let me first go to the code and see it because I don't remember anything at all. So we work in so much code that I have absolutely no clue what I was doing. I do vaguely remember fixing the timer because with the timer, you get such a tiny delay. And sometimes what was happening to me is that when I was moving the window, the thing was lagging behind so much that you could see what I was trying to cover anyways. So I said, no, that's not the best solution because the timer has a 10 millisecond timer there. But if you capture the messages, it is faster because you're getting them directly from Windows, as far as I could tell. I'm not 100% sure on that. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's go ahead and open up the quick blur.
let me stop sharing.
Yes, please.
And I put a video in Telegram in their group that we did on hit test. Just FYI.
Yes. So quick blur. Where is it? Why can't I see it here?
It's blurry.
What was the name, Irfan, of the tool? Maybe I'm typing it or searching for it incorrectly.
There's
Look
a
for-
folder called blur.
Blur. Oh, there we go. That's why. So the folder, the tool is called quick blur, but the folder is called something else. It makes it a little bit difficult to find. But let's go to the same spot where you were. All right. So nope. I think this is the one. Yeah, it had to do with the caption. Am I even using that? Yeah. So this had to do with, you see this HWMD right here? I needed to know which of the windows was active at the time. So what I was doing is when you hover over with the mouse, because you can have multiple multiple windows. So you can have different blurs, right? What I wanted to know is, hey, from all the GUIs that I have created, give me the handle of each of them. And if the handle that I'm looking for, because when you hover over the mouse, you get a message when you're doing the hit test, right? And it is asking whether the mouse is on the caption, or in this case, I think I had a different value for it. If the mouse is on that window, it will return the handle of the window that you're getting. But I don't want to be checking this every 10 milliseconds. I only want to check it when my mouse is on top of a window. So for example, let's say that I have, let me run the tool. So you can see what was the hotkey for that? Shift L button. So, right. So we created one here, we created another one here, and I created another one here. So your approach is, while I'm working, we have a timer that goes all the time checking for the windows, right? So the timer is working whether you need it or not. And remember, AutoHotkey is a little bit slow. So I was saying, okay, I only want to check this if I'm moving the mouse. And then I realized, no, I don't want it when I'm moving the mouse, because sometimes I'm moving the mouse outside of the windows. So I don't want that. There's another one, which is the hit test, that only happens when the mouse gets closer to a control or a window. When that happens, then Windows sends a message, not when you're moving the mouse all the time. Only when the control changes. You see, when the mouse changes, like it's I know you cannot see that. You see that the mouse changes between the cursor, the normal cursor like that, and the text control there. Windows is not checking that every time you move the mouse, because that's way too much. It's when it touches a window, that's when it sends a message, and that's when it's get captured. That's why it's so fast. So what I said is, when the hit test non-caption, non-client area or non-caption area gets a hit test, then check, give me the handle of this window only when the handle is the one that I have at the moment. So let me close this. Let me close this, guys. So I decided to use the hit test for getting the active handle, because that way I don't have to call that so often. It only gets called when the mouse is on top of a window. And this message, the hit test, got called. So this was an improvement of speed more than anything, because this loop right here can get really slow when you have 10, 20 little windows. You see what I mean? Remember, loops in AutoHotkey are expensive. Avoid them whenever possible. Well, instead of having a timer that loops every 10 milliseconds, capture the message that you need and just loop at that time. Does that make sense? So I just lowered how many times I do this loop by a lot, because the tool was very slow at moving the windows, because this was happening so often. So now that I got that out of the way, again, I'm only going to be doing this part, not when I'm moving the mouse, because the problem is I'm moving the mouse all the freaking time. Not every 10 milliseconds either. I don't want it every 10 milliseconds, not always. I'm just going to do this when the window is changing its position. So when I'm moving the window, that's when I'm going to check on this. And of course, if the button is not pressed, then of course, I don't want to do it either. And also, I don't want to do it if the active window is not the one that I'm actually hovering over. So what I did at the end is I sped up this process so much just by not having a mindless loop going over the time all the time. I just decided when these actions are going to be there, and I actually focused everything into very specific situations so that everything else gets ignored and my script is fast. That's all I did. It is a little bit, the problem was I was trying to use the tool, and then when I was trying to use it, it was not behaving as I wanted. But now, if I create multiple windows like this, they should be very smooth to move the windows around, which was not the case. And I was actually having problems with that. And actually, especially when I had multiple windows, that's when the script was very slow, especially if I was moving the main window. That's that's so right now the lag is way lower. And I made it like that the windows were just a tad bigger than what you selected, because when you move into the side, it was also kind of like feeling a little bit of it.
Created a buffer. Yeah.
Right. So these would be way better, I think, in my opinion. My testing revealed that. And yeah, that's what I was working on.
And also, Zayas, I mean, it reminds me of why it's webhooks, right? As opposed to API calls. With API call, we are cycling over going, hey, is there something there? Is there something there? Is there something there? Is there something there? The webhook, when it happens, it sends it. And now you're notified, like it's, it's done, right? And it's that's why some of the vendors will create a webhook and say, no, we don't have an API for that, but we do tell you when it happens, right? And so I get that.
Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. It's just a matter of speed. I was doing performance upgrades. And this is the part, guys, that I would say just as a close. If you use AI, you lose the experience. And when somebody asks you why that code is in there, you wouldn't be able to explain it at all. Like you would not know why that code was there.
Well, I was thinking...
Yeah,
Isaias, back to the example of Rizwan's question of how would you have gotten AI to solve that, right? Like that would have been really hard to have had AI give a solution. Yeah,
it would come up with so many options that are not that.
Yeah,
and then in the end, I looked at it and I was like, no, but this is the best action. It is easy. It's easy to solve. So experience, AI is great at solving tasks really quickly. It would be very useful if you ask it questions to learn. But if you are learning, but you just tell AI to do the stuff, you're actually not learning. You're losing. You're just getting you're getting the answer so fast that you don't go through the trouble. And what is going to happen is 6 months from now, you have no clue what that was.
Well, and again, it gets back to what is your goal, though? Because my goal, again, for me, is not to be a programmer. I just want the answer, and I'm fine with that, right? But I think it's a valid point that we might have different goals. Ray, what was your?
In fact, it's the problem is more heavy because of being a developer using AI a lot. You will lose your experience.
It could be. That's
so not only for beginners, also for experience.
For experience, maybe.
To some amount, it's okay, but you have to practice yourself.
Yes.
Keeping.
I always, when AI gives me code, if it is not a lot of code, I usually just type it myself just to have the experience. If it is just 2 lines, I just type them myself. 3 lines, okay. But if it is like 20 lines of code, yeah, I copy paste. But mainly, if it is just short, I just type it myself.
But even then, I'll look every line if it is all right. Yes. Or no.
Get insider savings, 25% off courses, scripts, and done-for-you AHK jobs, making premium tools affordable and accessible. Explore our huge library of 466+ hours of recorded AHK tutorials. Watch, rewind, and master tricks at your own pace.